Hey, this is Chad with BeGoneForGood. It's a big day. Had the Honda CB500X for just a month now. I've hit my 600-mile mark, which means the bike's got to go in for its first initial service. Now, there's been a lot of talk, and I've seen it on the forums about exactly what takes place in this first 600-mile checkup. There was a lot of talk about valve clearance checks. And this being somewhere in the neighborhood of like a $300–400 bill to get this taken care of, along with all the other stuff that's done in the initial check. People are talking about just avoid it, go through it, don't worry about it. People are talking about you have to do it in order to maintain warranty, all this other stuff. I had the opportunity to talk to my service manager that did the work on this bike today, and as it turns out, I got a little bit of clarification on exactly what's going on there. In 2013, the CB500X was scheduled for 600 miles to do valve clearance checks. This was to get feedback for Honda to make sure that they were doing everything properly and any adjustments that they needed to make to kind of work out the kinks in that engine. Subsequently, 2014, 2015, and onward, the 600-mile check doesn't include valve clearances. So it's not something that is necessary anymore. It's not something that's going to grind your wallet into dust on that first check. They're now doing them at 16,000 miles, where pretty standard opportunity to check valve clearances at that point. So all those guys out there that are worried about taking their bike in for their first check and getting just hammered on it, don't worry about it. It's a pretty routine check. In fact, I've got the list right here. Looks like we just did an engine oil and filter, lube and adjusted the chain, made sure everything was good there. Checked tire pressures, topped off the fluids, pretty standard stuff there. And then they just went over sort of routine checks, checks of the cable and clutch, or excuse me, the brake and clutch cables, the front brakes, the lights and electronics, the wheel and steering bearings, make sure your idle speed's working, make sure that on a road test nothing's wobbling, nothing's vibrating, nothing's shaking, nothing's knocking. So basically just an initial test to make sure that if there is anything wrong with the bike, they're catching it early. So everybody out there who doesn't have a 2013 Honda CB500X, get your bikes in at that 600-mile mark. Take it to a reputable shop. Probably cost you somewhere between $150–200. I came in at $180. Most of that is labor. A lot of this stuff can be done at home also. I was more comfortable making sure that this first checkup was done by the shop. I'll probably take over a lot of the maintenance then at this point. So I hope that clears some things up. I hope that nobody else has the same fears that I had the last few days, that I was going to be heading into a $400 bill as they broke my brand new bike completely apart to check the valve clearances. So not something that's happening anymore. You're all good. Check into BeGoneForGood.com. I'll be blogging more, videos, writing, everything that a new rider needs to know, especially if you're on the Honda CB500X. That's the bike that I've got. It's the bike that I'm using. It's the bike that I'm outfitting for future adventure travel. So you'll be able to get all the information about exactly what I'm doing right there. All right? Hope you guys are having a good one. Stay safe while you're riding.